And we're back for game 2 of our first best of 3, one of the biggest best of 3s we're going to see throughout the entire Eastern Division play. That's going to be DK taking on IG. DK comes into this match about 70 to 30% favorites in the eyes of the fans, and IG gave him a little jab in the eye there in game 1. Benefited from a little bit of Roche luck, and was talking to Conrad, the producer. There's some unhappy people with rares on the line that don't like the RNG determining factor that showed up there. But to tell you the truth, I don't think it mattered all that much. Invictus Gaming flat out outplayed DK in game 1. And there's no way you can take that away from them, no matter how lucky they get in terms of checking in the Roche pit. And going to be looking to make it a 2-0 sweep of the dominant team DK. But DK has other things in mind. They're going to look to knot things up and force a game 3. I'm your host there in AC Chambers, joined by Ben Merlini Wu to bring you the insight and analysis. I'll tell you what I don't think I've ever seen, Merlini, but just saw here. Invictus Gaming first picked a Lich.
Yeah, well, Lich, I mean, we saw it banned out in the first stage last game. I don't really know how imbalanced it changes. It is a very, very significant change, though. Dark Sacrifice, Sacrifice or whatever, previously termed Dark Ritual, actually, cooldown has been increased from 35-30, 25-20 to 44-36, 28-20. So level 4 still the same, 9, 6, 3 seconds more at levels 1, 2, and 3 respectively. But now you convert your own creep for XP, share it in AoE as normal creep experience bounty. And also it no longer denies enemy XP experience, but I don't actually think that's a big a deal because you can just run behind the creep wave, kill it there out of 1300 range, and they won't get experience. So that's actually not that big of a deal. And maybe in like other lanes, like mid or something like that, but even then you can still go back, and it's a pretty big deal to be able to deny them one full theme experience. But that's pretty cool, and he gets the XP now, so that's going to be huge. I don't know whether it's going to be in the solo offlane or what. I suspect it will be. I'm not positive though.
No, I agree with you there. I mean, the only reason you would pick a Lich this early, and again, I'm kind of in the boat with you where, you know, you study the patch notes as a caster or someone who just, you know, loves Dota and lives Dota. You study it and you can theory craft and do things on paper and discuss with your friends, but until you see it in practice in the hands of some of the best in the world, you just don't know. And I'm with you, though. I think Lich's ability to guarantee himself some level gains from denying creeps behind his own tower in the offlane is going to dictate that position is going to be his own. In fact, when I first saw that change, I even mentioned to some of my close friends that I feel like that change was actually intentionally meant to make a Lich an off-lane hero, because there are a lot of heroes that can play off-lane with a variety of success rates. But in terms of just go-to off-lane heroes, there are only a handful that really can just dominate there, a Weaver, a Windrunner, so on and so forth. And I feel like Lich is getting a buff that way in terms of finding not just a niche as he had going all the way back to like DreamHack Summer when we saw Team Liquid in that incarnation before the International run a lot of Lich off lane. But seeing it now, I feel like the hero definitely is going to be picked in that niche because he's guaranteed to get his levels. He's going to be able to contribute with all of his skill set. The Ice Armor, you simply can't, Frost Armor, you cannot underestimate how important that is, especially if you build a lineup around it.
It's not only that the Frost Armor got buffed and sacrificed, it's also because the offlane, the creeps move closer to the offlane tower. Range heroes actually get full experience, or not full experience, as much as melee heroes experience did when creeps get denied, and the XP range has been increased. So all these things just make more range heroes viable. Also, the neutral creeps have been kind of nerfed too. So triple lanes are a little bit less popular, although we saw Invictus Gaming do very well with a triple lane in the offlane last game and kind of punish DK's dual lane. So I think that, I mean, Lich is going to be a huge hero. I don't actually know. I think he's going to be really popular, but I really going to reserve judgment until after this game.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of those. He's going to be one of those heroes that's going to be experimented with a lot over the next week or two, just by any team in a competitive environment. And then depending on the relative success rates he has, I think then we'll see whether he becomes popular or not. Seeing a first pick a Lich here, though, I mean, these teams aren't going to come in here and blindly draft a Lich with no experience with him on the new patch. I have no doubt that Invictus has played with him and is just determined, you know what, this guy is so good, it's worth a first pick for us to snag him out this early. So IG going to go back to Luna. They're really liking the post-patch Luna. Going to pair it up with Clockwork and Lich. I like the Clockwork and Lich combination. If you're able to cog in 2 heroes or more throughout the Lich ult, that's a crap ton of damage. And very easy way to isolate heroes away from others if you're effective with that. DK, on the other hand, just kind of has an all-around team. They've got Nyx Assassin, so they've got a good support. They've got decent initiation if he gets up a mobility item. Timbersaw, of course, his entire kit allows him to team fight very effectively early on, especially if he gets a good start. They've got Shen and all that he brings to a team, a lot of team fight potential with the Hand of God and heal, and a lot of push potential to come with that, as well as a lot of gank potential. And now adding in the Weaver. That gives you some nice mid-game damage, some nice late-game carry potential. DK, though, looking at this lineup, does feel a smidge thin at the moment compared to Invictus.
Yeah, Lich, going back to him, his Chain Frost got buffed, I think, from like 6 to 7 to 10, and one of the reasons he completely fell off the map, I think he used to be like somewhat popular, but he completely fell off the map due to the popularity of Chen. And Chain Frost versus Chen creeps, Chen just always won. You just global heal as when you're like 1200 HP creeps, tank like 3 Chain Frost, and then you're just like, whatever, I don't even care about Lich Ultimate. Right. And you're going to use your Hand of God anyways, and it just made Lich like absolutely useless. But with 10 bounces, that is a lot, and I don't know if Chen will be able to heal through it, especially considering Hand of God is actually nerfed too. Hand of God cooldown from 140 to 160 at level 1, and it's 140, 130, 120 to 160, 140, 120. So nerfed by 20 seconds at level 1, 10 seconds at level 2, and 0 at level 3. So this definitely is an effect to hurt Chen's early game. And yeah, I think that Chen is a pretty good pick. It used to be a pretty good pick versus Lich. I don't know how good it is anymore. I suspect it's still a pretty good pick, though. Having those 3 creeps, as well as Chen yourself, to take those heals and being able to send back someone if they tank too much, then I think that's pretty big, especially if he picks up a mech.
Taking a look at DK, I want to know, we don't know how they're going to run this. They could end up putting the Timbersaw in the off lane, the Weaver as a safe lane. We've been seeing a lot of mid-Weaver so far in D2L. Eastern Division play. A lot of options available to them, but right now this seems very much like a pick and push kind of a lineup to me. They're going to want to move the Chen and the Nyx, get the Weaver involved early on. Of course, he'll want to farm his items up, but I really do suspect this could be a mid Timbersaw or mid Weaver with the other hero in the off lane. Then they're going to pick a carry here. I like the Night Stalker ban there from DK. Yep. Oh, wow. They're actually going to grab an Abaddon. So this is the first time we've actually seen Abaddon played in D2L Eastern Divisional play, and you and I kind of talked a bit about that. I mean, Abaddon kind of took the West by storm for a while, and is still very popular for the most part, but throughout all of the series we've casted so far, this is the first time we've seen him picked or banned. Yeah,
I think it's not a bad pick here. I generally don't like Abaddon, just because I don't think he's that good of a hero. But in this particular draft, I think he's pretty good. He's very good at soaking up Lich and Luna. They're like uncontrolled ultimates, right? You just press a button and then it just does damage, as opposed to something like Sonic Wave or Sandy's Eclipse, which you can hold off on if Abaddon pops his ultimate. But Abaddon can just pop his ultimate mid Eclipse and mid Chain Frost and tank a lot. But I still don't think that hero's that effective. He actually got nerfed in 6.79. Mist Coil, previously known as Death Coil, received a few nerfs, and I don't know. I don't really know what he's going to do in this, but I'm like, he's good at like being defensive, but like when Invictus Gaming has all this late game with Luna, with Shadow Fiend, and whereas you have Burning only on Weaver and you have a Chen, they have to make things. Their gun is really on DK this game to take down a lot of towers, shut down Shadow Fiend's farm, as well as shut down Luna's farm. And I don't know if they can get all 3 of those tasks accomplished.
You really just summed up and took the thoughts out of my head, my friend. When I look at DK's lineup, they have so much early punching power. With the Nyx Assassin, once he gets 6, has Vendetta. Chen's ability to roam as effectively as he can. Timbersaw, it's impossible to outrun a Timbersaw if he's on you between Chakram and Timber Chain. Weaver, of course, with Shikuchi can always run you down. And Abaddon, really, I view this Abaddon as just basically addressing the concern I had whenever I was looking at the draft early. DK's lineup felt thin to me. It felt thin compared to IG's. And Abaddon's just one of those heroes that goes, that's fine. I've got Shield of Avernus, and I've got the Aphotic Shield, and I've got Borrowed Time to help address that issue, to make sure these heroes don't feel thin. They do have more survivability, but I feel like it's a very difficult to execute lineup. This is not a lineup that is going to feel very comfortable just sitting back and farming like we saw happen a lot of last game, and IG demonstrated last game. As good as Burning is, as much as he's known as the king of farm, you know what? Hal's pretty damn good too. You give him an inch, he'll take a mile. He got miles ahead, plural. And IG never really looked back, so I completely agree. DK definitely going to be up against it to make a lot of things happen early on. They do not want to deal with a farmed Shadow Fiend and a farmed Luna coming up in the mid-game and the late game.
And I think gone are the days of the easy mode lineups, which are something like Lifestealer. Lifestealer, I think, is a really easy mode hero, and it actually gets like really punished now. And DK has a pretty difficult to execute lineup, but if they can actually keep Shadow Fiend down and Luna down and make Chen as effective as we've seen, I forget who played it the other day, maybe Banana. If like they can play it effectively as he did, then they can definitely take this game pretty early because IG does kind of lack in their early game.
It's going to be a unorthodox. Is going to make a friend of mine very, very happy. A nice 1-1-1-2 approach here. As DK will be sending a couple down into this bottom lane. Faith and Hal will be trying to farm up the Luna. It's going to be Weaver plus the Abaddon. And again, a hero we just have not seen all that much. Here in mid, though, we actually see Banana hanging around Ferrari 430, at least for the moment. Going to make this difficult, very difficult on Mushi, who will be playing the mid Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, looking at the levels right now, Mushi level 2, Ferrari and Banana sitting at about 1/2 each. Oh, they're almost level 2, so I think Banana should get level 2 before he leaves the lane, though. This level 1 Lich is just pretty useless. I mean, it's good at denying XP, but in terms of actually moving around the map and doing stuff, he is not very useful. Oh, Mushi goes for an Impale on a creep, misses Ferrari, and looks like he has his bottle, though. He did get pulled 2 tangos and start off with the triple branch build. So a variant of the 3 tango triple branch build that we saw before.
A lot of aggression
this may be the new norm.
Coming out from Ice up here. Getting way up under the tower. YYF sitting with some decent experience under his belt. He's about halfway to level 3 already.
Oh, mid.
And in mid, we're going to see the Shadow Fin. Ends up dropping as Lanham showed up with an Ursa creep. And manages to secure the first blood. And chasing down Mushi. One nice carapace. And he had to micro the courier at the same time. Had to hide the courier back in the trees. As well as get his carapace off. Managed to do so. So DK off to a decent little start here. Manages to get first blood under their belt. Manages to hold Ferrari down.
Yeah, but that's exactly what they needed to do early. And bottom lane, we actually see Weaver get picked off. Not exactly sure how that happened, considering there is no sentry wards. I don't think there's any dust either, and there's Abaddon there to back him up. I have no idea what just happened there.
Lanham already moving around quite well. He's always very close to level 3 to begin with, so he's off to a great start in terms of experience. Clockwork and Ice both sitting about level 3.5. And the question is going to be just how quickly Lanham decides to go ahead and start applying some pressure to this bottom lane. And, you know, something that we've already seen be a pretty significant change is with the swapping of the pool camps. Pool camp now an easy camp, and the old pool camp, or now the easy camp, a median camp. And we just haven't, in this, the first game and now in this game, we're just not seeing a lot of emphasis placed on stacking and pulling.
Faith is looking for the creep. Mushi taking a lot of fire in mid, but Ferrari misses a raise, and he has full bottle charges with an illusion rune, so looks like Mushi is perfectly okay. Faith trying to find the Wildkin, unable to find it, but he does find Lanham in the process.
Yep.
Is Banana going to be there?
Frostbite. Here comes Banana and the Nova, and one auto attack. Gets IG on the board in a big way, make it 3-1. And so far, DK came out firing, but IG counter-punching much more effectively. Now up. Now back in control of this game. And taking a look at the early CS, we can see Burning is making up some ground now, sitting at 9, but the Luna is out CSing him, especially after that initial death, which, to be honest, neither of us really caught there, just because you don't expect that to happen when there's no sentry in lane.
Yep. And looks like Faith, I mean, Crystal Main is actually a pretty good pick for Shen. Sometimes we see them in tandem on the same team, but the Frostbite just lasts so long. It lasts 10 seconds on creeps of level 5 or lower, which are most Shen creeps, especially after the nerf. So Crystal Maiden actually getting a few indirect buffs that I didn't consider earlier.
And YYF and Ice continuing to go toe-to-toe. YYF has a great understanding of Timbersaw. We saw him play an absolutely dominant Timbersaw yesterday, and we just actually saw him just go crazy on everything. Timbersaw as well as the Elder Titan just had a great day of games. Lanham and Banana taking a look at the haste room. Banana's going to go ahead and grab it, and he might chase him down. Yeah, he's going to try to. Elsewhere, everything seems quiet, so we'll pursue this out. Just right-clicking him down. He's going to have his Nova in just a second. There's a Satyr trying to get involved. Gives him the old okey doke around the tree and can't find him. So he does decide to go ahead and pull back for fear of any kind of reaction coming from DK. So Lanham able to give him the juke and keep himself alive.
I'm surprised Banana didn't cast his Frost Blast earlier, or Ice Snow, or whatever you want to call it. He had 377 mana, that's enough for 2. He could have cast it over here, and then by the time he's like already chasing around the ring around the Rosie over here, he would have been able to probably cast it again and not have to worry about the Satyr. But he's kind of worried about his haste running out and then someone rotating from mid and just killing him. Doesn't want to give up that easy kill. Speaking of mid though, Mushi 5-1 CS. So this Lich is just like absolutely devastating to him. We're talking about almost level 5 Lich and a level 5 Mushi too. So The Lich pick already working out pretty well for IG.
Taking a look at CS here in bottom. Burning has closed the gap. He is sitting at 18. MMY doing a decent job of keeping him alive. He has been pulled a fair amount of regen. Well, I shouldn't say he hasn't been pulled. He just happened to buy some for himself. But with the help of Abaddon, using the Aphotic Shield and Miscoil to keep him alive. But this could change.
Shield, was a reward scouts out YYF, though. They have to back right now. Why is Burning not backing? Okay, there they go.
Just playing a little greedy, doing what Burning does. He's actually staying forward.
Oh,
he's staying way
smoking.
And over here in the jungle, we're going to see Banana spotted out. Will end up being killed off. And we're going to have the hook comes off the mark. Burning pursuing out. House very low. Trying to get himself to safety. One auto attack, not enough. Faith actually manages to turn it around with a frostbite. YYF showed up just in time. And now Mushi pursuing out, trying to find How. How trying to find somewhere to hide. Mushi guessed wrong. MMY didn't. So they do manage to dive him. There's a buyback from Crystal Maiden. Faith is there, gets off the Nova to slow down Lanham and the Frostbite. Focusing down the chin. YYF thought about pursuing, decided to stay in the safety of the tower. Faith using both the Nova and the Frostbite to get the counter kill on the chin. Nonetheless, DK counter punches once again, make it 4-5 now.
Yeah, pretty good buyback by Faith there. Trying to mitigate the effect from this early Chen is very, very important for them. Him having to go all the way back home, find new creeps and such, just going to delay his level 6 and just mitigate his effectiveness. ISI is putting a lot of pressure on How on top. They've actually rotated the clock. I'm surprised he missed that hook shot. It would have been pretty different story. Burning got overconfident, though, because he didn't think that clock was going to come in, though. So Burning actually just barely died there. I'm surprised he's playing this aggressively after dying once already and against 3 heroes.
Lana making some decent XP.
Ice on top. Oh, he's tower diving How, it looks like.
Yeah, taking a shot at How. How down below half health. Chakram tossed out, being able to zone him out. So not waiting to see How get ahead on Luna. I mean, Luna did have a little bit of a slow start to begin with, but just kicked in the farm so hard and heavy in the mid-game last time and really just ran away with it. Lanham is just short of level 5 now. Now beginning to move, has an Ursa creep along with him. Nah, just going to drop a ward. Meantime, YYF is hooked up with Banana. Banana sitting at just short of level 5 as well, so not far from having his ultimate.
Tower is under attack.
Mushi picking up his arcane boots. He does just get scouted out by this ward. They know that he's rotating to bottom, but it's not close to the 8-minute rune, so they have to really wonder what he's up to. I think they know that he's Vendetta. I think he's Vendetta just out of sight, so they're sticking around in groups. If there's smoke pops, they know someone's around.
They're going to get the hook off. They're going to have someone coming in from behind. That's going to be Mushi with that double damage rune. This could get ugly. He's sitting right outside
like
range.
3 seconds.
Oh, he spotted him. Should have spotted him there. And here we go. There's the hook on to Burning. Burning with the Aphotic Shield on. There's a Frostbite to lock him down. The shield does burst. They're trying to pursue out MMY. Here comes Ice back in. The Timber Saw re-engaging with the Timber Chain. Mushi's there, and the Chakram a little bit short. Will catch him with the Impale, but Shadow Fiend, handled by Ferrari, lands the big raise. A big turnaround going the way of IG. DK loses 2, soon to lose 3. Oh, actually, damn. Ice said, nope, that's fine. You can kill me. In fact, you can kill me as I'm Timber Chaining, but I'm going to take down the other guy with Shoot Hook as an ability, the Clockwork, so they don't come up completely empty-handed. However, losing Burning, losing Mushi, losing the Timber, huge win going the way of IG.
Ferrari just coming in at the right time. I don't actually know why Chet wasn't there. He didn't actually get the tower. So again, this buyback comes into play because Lana rotated to the top jungle, was unable to help his team when 5 heroes of IG rotated on bottom. Ferrari just came in at a very opportune time. Ooh, Mushi.
Just saw it again. Those who said, hey, it's not that big a deal, losing Impale as a target point or making it a target point instead of a target tracking hero. Right there, we just saw it. Hal's probably dead if it's not for that nerf right there. The Impale shot wide.
Man, these sentries are just right, like, just out of range if you click on them. So Mushi, like, thinks they don't have any sentry wards, and same with IG. IG thinks that they don't have any sentry wards either. It's kind of a funny situation.
YYF will hit a hook on the Mushi. MMY is there, going to get the shield off. Does he have the damage? Battery Assault melting through, gets off the Impale. Mushi healed up, and Banana and Hal caught out. There goes the Lich ulti. The bounce is not going to be that fortuitous. Going to hit a lot of creeps. MMY will eat the last charge of it. Here comes Ice pursuing it out. Faith is there, caught with the Chakram. YYF will be able to retreat to safety, and Faith unable to throw any spells out, so just that quickly. DK gets some payback, taking down Lich, and more importantly, taking down the Luna once again. Ferrari, though, capitalizing on this opportunity to continue to find his farm and his items. He's picked up an Ogre Club and is continuing to become relevant and hit very hard.
And this is more of the Ice Timber Saw that we all know. And he didn't do terribly well last game, but this game he's having a much bigger impact, being able to match up versus the Clockwork YYF on him very well on top, and just having a pretty good contribution in these earlier fights. 2-1-1 in him, 2-1-1 on him. He has Arcane and Urn on in his inventory right now.
YYF is there, has help coming from behind. We hear the Aphotic Shield pop, throws out the Rocket Flare. Let's see, is he going to look for a hook? Thought he might blind shoot one, but not going to be the case. As How
he doesn't have any good targets.
Yep. How and Banana rejoin with him, so things are going to stabilize at least for a moment. But again, taking a look at the CS, Ferrari is where you want to be as a Shadow Fiend. And this
is he going to go for this kill in mid? Oh, they actually missed a deny with 2 heroes there and a Wildkin, and Ferrari like moved up and tried to just snipe it, and I think DK just got a little bit jumpy. They're like, oh no, don't give him the tower, and they panicked for a little bit. YYF has a hook shot in mid. This is
there it is. Going to connect on Mushi. Carapace goes up. Not going to matter though. The sentry goes down, and Lanham trying to get him home. We uses the hand of God and did not get him home. That could not have been more than a 1/10 of a second separating Chen's teleport from his death. So nice kill found there. In the meantime, Burning will be managing to last hit that top tier 1. And down at bottom, Hal's actually going to TP out to stop Burning, go ahead and take all of this farm. A little bit of a rotation here. Faith doesn't have any detection. Burning doing what damage he can, and he time lapses out. So Faith, who's had a phenomenal early game, by the way. Faith currently sitting at 5-1-2, unable to catch up with him.
Yeah, Faith doing very, very well. He TP'd on top, but thought twice. I think that he thought that Glyph was up and unable to do so. We see a 4-man bottom, soon to be 5 probably if once Burning's TP is up. And they want this tower. It looks like no heroes down here. Is IG just going to give up a free tower? They're not getting anything in the process, like Ferrari's farming middle, but the T1's already down there. T1 isn't pushed out enough to top lane. Looks like they're just going to give it up.
Yep, no reaction. Here comes the Rocket Flare, but so more of a morning, sort of a 21-gun salute for that tower. And yeah, I'm a little surprised there too. However, I think the reason IG is willing to just let that go is, you take a look at the gold graph, you can see they are slightly in the lead. They have that sense of things. They are actually falling a little bit behind now after the loss of that tower. They're going to have to come down here and defend. But the 2 heroes that need farm are getting farm. The Shadow Fiend and the Luna are free farming right now. And I think that's valuable enough to them that they're willing to trade a tower to get Ferrari ahead. And if there's one thing DK has kind of failed at doing, which you have to do in situations like this, is you have to put pressure on a mid Shadow Fiend. He's just going to get too far ahead with everything he needs, levels and gold, if you don't do that. And really, that just wasn't the case. All the attention was focused on bottom.
Is he going to be able to kill Burning with this?
Up there's going to be the Courier netted down, actually. DK right on top of it. Oh, the Courier did manage to get picked off. There's a hook in, though. They're going to end up catching Lanham. Shows himself off. Now Ferrari eating some damage from Burning. There's a Frostbite. And Burning taking a lot of damage. MMY right behind him, though. And here we go. Luna cut off the path of retreat. Manages to pop the Eclipse and do some damage, but the rest of the team lagging behind. Freezing Field from Faith doing so much damage with the Lich Ult. Lich Ult bounces Burning, uses his wand charges to try to stay alive, has plenty of mana, but will they track him down? There's the Rocket Flare, and he's going to time-lapse back, juking them back through the trees, right over top of a sentry throw. Ferrari's there. Unfortunately, decides not to pursue him up to the high ground. MMY going to heal him up, give him a shield, and let him go back to re-engage. And Burning moving back in. Mushi coming in, but YYF dropped the cogs and Burning's down. Mushi never got Vendetta off. MMY spotting out the attempted gank from Mushi thanks to that sentry ward that went down the track down Burning. Just an absolute fire drill here in mid lane. But in the end, IG comes out ahead in another big way. 12-8. The gold arcing back up in their favor.
Very smart sentry ward. Like, not a lot of support players will place a sentry ward right in between the T1 and T2. You have like this very small range where you don't actually get the sentry ward vision, and the good supports on IG know that is absolutely essential, especially versus Weaver and a Nyx Assassin. And Nyx Assassin was just trying to find kills, but he has a very difficult time initiating. And I thought that Burning got away, but I mean, they could have escaped with a little bit less. Burning actually using his time-lapse and Sakuchi very effectively and trying to run away to the left, but I think he felt safe with the Aphotic Shield, did not anticipate getting trapped in that cog. Very fast cog by YYF, being able to go, and he knows exactly what to do. All he needs to do is just trap him inside the cog and the guy's dead. And if Nyx Assassin initiates on him, whatever, at least Weaver is down in. He managed to get it up before Nyx Assassin could do anything to him.
IG looks like they're ready to fight. BKB is just about done on Ferrari. In fact, needs about 75 more gold, and he's finished. So just 1 or 2 more last hits, he'll be ready to roll. MMY did pick up a medallion. That's going to be quite handy in focusing down Luna and Shadow Fiend until they have a chance to take up with late-game items. They are a bit squishy to begin with, and that minus armor will not only help them with early Roche attempts, but will help them focus fire, whichever one of those they decide to make their highest priority target. Lanham is only about 400 gold away from having his mechanism, so Mech plus Hand of God certainly going to help DK survive through a lot of this, but so far the last hit's really going the way of IG. Ferrari has just been dominating and flash farming like hell on this Shadow Fiend. We take a look at the net worth. He's already opened up a gap of 1,700 gold at just 15 minutes in. That is actually a huge gap to have between first and second place in the overall net worth at this stage of the game.
Luna's not that far behind either. She's sitting at 4,800, so very close to Timbersaw, who is number 1 on the side of DK. So a couple things worry me if I'm DK right now. Firstly, Shadow Fiend has his BKB. That's already a pretty big deal, 15 minutes in, and he has Shred Suit, so it wasn't like a straight BKB rush. And Weaver doesn't really have anything either. Look at Weaver's items, just Shreds and Ogre Club, not even Mithril Hammer yet. So things are pretty problematic for DK right now. They need to make something happen. I think this early medallion pickup, like you talked about, was very, very important, and looks like they're going to do Roche. They have this ward over here, but it doesn't actually see along the cliff. The line of vision is like right about here, and they will barely spot out Mushi. They know that something's happening. There comes a rocket.
Yep.
They know.
Oh, and that actually triggered his borrowed time too.
This is so bad. If DK loses this fight.
Oh man, here we go. They're gonna smoke in. There's the hook. They got Mushi. Mushi locked down. There's gonna be the Chakram out. YYF didn't drop the cogs though, and here we go. Eclipse is there. Hand of God gets it back into fighting shape. They're gonna hear the Frostbite go. Oh, beautiful stomp. Got 3. Ferrari still has his ulti and his BKB if he wants to use it. Burning's down though. Chakram slows him down. They're going to get ice. Mushi trying to re-engage. There's the BKB. Continuing to just follow him and right-click him down. He's hitting so hard. 200 damage on the right-clicks coming out of Shadow Fiend right now. And they forced the buyback out of Burning. So Burning already falling further behind. This is very reminiscent of Game 1. Lich threw his ult, so he's not going to buy back. Roche is at about half health. Are they going to challenge this? Nope. It looks like they're just going to take that as a lost fight and a lost, basically a value kill on Burning. Not only bringing him down, but forcing the buyback. Roche is still taking a long time here. They have the option. Ferrari never spent his ulti. He does have BKB on cooldown now. And there we go. Yeah, they're keeping an eye on this. Lich is back up, and DK might have to abandon the ship.
Yeah, they used 2 buybacks for that too. One on Weaver, one on Abaddon. I'm actually surprised that YYF didn't cock immediately after the hookshot. I think they could have just trapped Mushi in this little square right here and just killed him with the sentry drop. So that was a little bit surprising. I don't exactly know what he was scared of, but that probably would have changed their fight a lot too. I don't know. It kind of catches everyone else in a weird position though. They're like down here trying to engage, and then all the Dyers right here, so they would have just been facing off like downhill next to the cog. So I don't know, it would have been an interesting engagement had that cog went off.
Lanham has Hand of God on cooldown. I'm a little surprised that we're not seeing IG push the issue a little bit, since Shadow Fiend does still have his ulti. He's got 1,400 gold in the bank as well, and we'll see if his next item, one would imagine a Shadow Blade, could be a good pickup here. Could end up going for something a little bit more standard, though, if he just wants to tank up. You know, back in the days of the Manta build, where Shadow Blade wasn't nearly as common on Shadow Fiend, Manta style, or even a Helm of the Dominator build, which you'd occasionally see come out. But 14-9, IG has turned the gold graph back around in their favor. Granted, it's slight, very close game. The experience, though, is definitely beginning to go in favor of Invictus.
Neither team wants to force Roshan right now. IG has a really good Roshan lineup. They have Chain Frost, they have Eclipse, they have Requiem, as well as Cogs. All are really, really good for this really tight, compact area that DK will be forced to go in. But they don't really want to just like go in there, get mass, Nick stunned, and Timbersaw, Chakram too. So there's a lot of
things what a hook.
Both teams have to worry about.
YYL. There he is. Wanted to focus MMY. Mushi under cover of Vendetta. Sentry's down. They're not going to be able to get him. MMY did get off at Miscoil before ending up dropping. And to be honest, that Abaddon pick has just not felt very influential to me. I mean, it did a little bit down in the bottom lane when they just needed that extra.
Died, though.
Yeah. But Roche at about 3/4 health. Let's see if they want to take a shot at it. And they will. Ferrari hitting very, very hard. 200.
Armor so good for Roshan, too.
Yep. And yeah, they're going to get this, I think. They're going to try to run him out. Chakram's there. Ice, spotted out, gets frostbitten. Here comes Nick's assassin. Ice. will be eating the Lich Ult. Not going to bounce, so wasted there. Hand of God gets it back into fighting shape, but he will be cleaned up after the cogs. Mushi next on the list. If they can catch him, doesn't look like they can. More buybacks coming out. And right now, DK is sacrificing so much early game gold and item development just to try and hold this pit together. And I guess you can argue the value of that, but they are getting themselves very quickly into the situation they found themselves in as the game ended last time, where you can only do that so many times before you lose one more fight and you have no items. The enemy just takes too big of an objective, and there's no way to play your way back into it. And just look at this, the gold continuing to go up and up now.
They have to risk it, though. If they don't risk it, then Shadow Fiend just gets the Aegis, and they just ball out of control after that. So things are very precarious for DK right now. Looking at the gold grab, I think they've been attempting Roche for probably 3 or 4 minutes right now, and the gold grab steadily going in favor of IG. They're playing very smart, sticking together as a pack, not getting picked off, and just looking for small pickoffs here and there, forcing DK to make this a huge financial investment for them. And once Timbersaws caught out alone, they just kill him. Burning caught out here with Chain Frost too. So they're just going for really small picks here and there, damaging DK's economy very, very heavily.
If there's anything that IG has done remarkably well, it's interrupt Burning's farm. Like, in both games now, Burning has just not felt like he's on the same level. He has not felt like he's relevant.
Mushi running into Sentry Wards?
Unable to grab him. This Roche is dropping very fast. They're not going to be able to get it, or they're not going to be able to challenge this. This is going to Ferrari. They got a little out of position, and here comes the Chakram afterwards. Most they could do is try to initiate off of it, but hell, IG looks like they're in the mood for that. Ice is
already with Eagle Song too.
Yep. And yeah, you take a look at the net worth. This is what I was talking about. Burning just doesn't feel relevant. He didn't last game, and he doesn't feel this game.
He's sixth on net worth right now.
Yeah.
And that's yeah. Well, I mean, the buyback is really hurting him though. The IG supports have been really on top of Sentry Wards. So like, look at the Sentry placement just everywhere. They had one right here, right before too. So they pretty much just had 4 right around the Roshan pit.
Looks like IG happy to go ahead and pull back and get further ahead before they try to put the nail in the coffin. Burning though will have his BKB done here shortly. So at least some glimmer of hope at the end of the tunnel. But right now, I mean, we haven't even talked a whole lot about how. We've been taking a look, for the most part, at Shadow Fiend. How actually got that Aegis. And already has a BKB up, has 1,000 gold, and might have something on the way. Nope, actually doesn't right now. But Hal's gold is even quite good. And he's feeling much more survivable than he did before. And taking a look at the levels even. Just look at the levels. The top 4 in terms of levels all belong to IG.
I'm surprised that Luna's going with a Tranquil Boost. You don't actually get the bonuses if you attack now, so it's pretty much not very good on non-support heroes anymore. It's still like decent now and then, but yeah, I don't know about that. I don't think we'll see Luna's pick up Tranquils much anymore. It'll most of the time be Treads, maybe the occasional phase. Burning on top.
Here we go, Burning. Oh, nice hook after the Frostbite. Can they chase him down? A Photic shield, guaranteed.
Really timely shield.
Yep. Kept him alive there, for sure. We see the reaction coming out. Lanham has not felt very impactful this game at all either. I mean, he was on decent levels. He's going to go ahead and send Burning home. And looks like they're just going to have to sack this tower. Without Burning there to fight, there's really not a hold up. He's going to come. We're going to see a TP back. That's going to be Ice. Here we go. Now they're ready to fight. Looks like they didn't want to give it away. Hal with that Aegis. BKB at a full charge. And here comes Mushi with the creeps. Now they're going to re-engage. Impale off the mark, didn't catch anything. In the meantime, Hal off by himself. There's Chakram, there goes the Lich ulti, bouncing from Chin Creep to Chin Creep, but getting some damage done, and combined with the Eclipse, the magic damage output. Just too much for DK to stand. Chakram slows them down. Ferrari, once again, has not spent BKB or spent his ulti. Mushi gonna pop the Carapace, lands a nice Impale there, MM-wise there, Ice. Trying to hold the line, but with the urn up, and with that Aegis still in the inventory, it looks like, wow, they're actually gonna go ahead and pull back. There's no need for them to fight right now. They got Burning and traded Clockwork for it. It's already pretty good. Luna doesn't have BKB. She doesn't have Aegis. Or she still has the Aegis, but they don't need to risk it. All they need to do is just make like even trades or slightly better trades, and then just push them to the late game. And slowly but surely they'll accumulate their lead. They're 17-10 right now in kills, 4,000 gold advantage, which is very, very sizable considering there's only 2 towers down on their side. Long range hookshot from YYF connects on Mushi. Mushi locked down. YYF has him hemmed in, and that's going to be a high-value kill. Burning's back up, and now they've lost Mushi.
These wards are just incredible, though. Like, this ward being able to scout out Mushi. He gets this line of vision. He sees him walking over here, right next to the sentry over there, too, so there's really no escape for Nyx. Oh, he has a forcep, actually. I don't know when it was used.
Up, here we go. Ice just completed his Bloodstone. Looked like he wanted to pursue out Banana, but not going to be the case. DK just trying to hold the line at this point. In the meantime, looks like the bottom tier 1 will be the site of IG's aggression, and they should get this uncontested. They may try to trade tier 1 for tier 1. This tier 1 mid is below half health. We'll see if they react. There's Butterfly done already on this Shadow Fiend. And Hal's going to go ahead and engage. Burning locked down with the Frostbite. Do they have the damage? The heal from the Abaddon was there. Ferrari showing his face. Again, already with a Butterfly. Just hitting so damn hard.
Yeah, 240 damage right now. That's pretty absurd, 25 minutes in. And he has a lot of survivability on top of that with Magic Immunity and Evasion, so he's not a glass cannon by any stretch.
Yep, seeing the BKB and the Butterfly, a lot of times you'll see variations on how Shadow Fiends are built. Sometimes it'll be Yasha BKB or a BKB Yasha, then make your decision from there. You can grab a Manta, or if you want to go for something else, you can. Been a while since I've seen BKB Butterfly, and is a very potent build as long as you get it up at a good clip. And given the net worth lead he has accumulated, he is more than double Burning's farm at 26 minutes into this game. 26 minutes in, Ferrari is more than double the net worth of DK's Burning. Those are words you're not used to even contemplating, let alone actually hearing as a matter of fact. They're coming up on 7,500 gold lead at this point, plus 10,000 experience in their back pocket as well.
And, I mean, it's a very safe choice to go Butterfly when you know Burning's is underfarmed. He has died in most of the fights, even with an Abaddon and a Chen healing and supporting him. So he's forced to go defensive items. If he went MKB, they would just lose the game. Or MKB first, rather.
And Roche about to have the Aegis reclaimed, so we get to play Roche Roulette coming up soon. Hang on, MMY. Caught with the cogs, ends up out of it. Ice throws out the Chakram. Faith's going to be netted down by the creeps. They're going to go ahead and try to clean those up. Kind of a big deal for Chin to lose his creeps at this stage of the game. IG about to lose the Aegis, but it's, yep, they got 30 seconds. If they've got it down to the second, they may just run up Hal and just take a chance. And right now, really, IG just has everything they need. 4 staff done already on that Crystal Maiden, who had a phenomenal early game. Taking a look back, she's still sitting at the top of the kill total, sitting at 5-1. And really, I mean, seeing the resurgence of Crystal Maiden has actually been a lot of fun, too. She was a hero that way back whenever I first started casting Dota, was super popular. Then you had some pocket picks like Morphling, Crystal Maiden, mid that you saw EG do around the time of TI2. Then she kind of fell off.
Looking for a kill. They might find YYF here.
He's going to force staff right up past him. Chakram will catch him, but not really caring. But very much a lot of fun to see Crystal Maiden back into competitive play. But right now, IG totally in control of their fate, Merlini.
They're playing so well-disciplined right now. Like, no one's gotten picked off in, like, a very, very long time. They also haven't given up any free towers to DK after, like, the bottom T1 and top T1 when they were trying to complete their BKBs. They have a gem on Lich that are just playing very calm, calculated. They know that they have this game in the bag if they just keep burning down, which is pretty much what has been happening. Wow, Mushi, poor guy.
Mushi ends up, wow, yeah, there's the change in the cogs. That's actually a nerf there. Can they get in? They will. Spent the ulti for it and everything, a little bit of overkill. But the fact that he bounced off the cogs there, went uphill and knocked down the trees, that's a change in the patch as well. So had a chance to escape, not the best. But now we've got IG ready to go ahead and take yet another tower. And
Crystallis already up too.
Jeez. Hitting so hard. His crit just monstrous at this point. And look at him.
He's over double Burning's net worth. Yeah, it's really scary.
Well, Merlini, let's theorycraft. You're DK. What's the plan, man? How do you get this game back under control?
It's extremely difficult for them right now. The only weakness that I see in IG's play right now is that they're 5-manning, but they're still getting a lot of farm. They're still defending towers, and they're still able to put on a lot of pressure and push themselves too. So DK just needs to, I think, split push, probably with 2 heroes, not just one, because Burning isn't able to put enough pressure by himself just because he doesn't have any items. So I think they just need a split push, force IG to split up, and then try and get the gem back if they can. Lich is holding it. He's still pretty weak right now, sub 1,000 HP. But in a 5-on-5, there's absolutely no way they can contest IG with the items on Shadow Fiend and the BKB on Luna as well, up Shadow Fiend and the mass AoE. So they can't win an engagement like that. They just have to keep chipping away at these towers, such as just like this when they're not as 5. And very nice intel coming out from Nick Assassin there. And then like they all just like scrambled to defend this tower, but they still got the tower. So they just need very small victories like that, similar to what IG was doing in the 15 to 25 minute phase of the game. But I think that DK may have given them too much in that phase, and they have to defend Roshan too. They definitely have to defend Roshan. Looks like it's going to respawn close to the end of the 11 minutes, so I guess probably about 2 minutes time.
Yep, give or take 2.5, what it looks like. So 30 minutes in, this game well in hand for IG as they look to just patiently wait out DK and take a 2-0 win. This is a big win for them. Again, you look at the Eastern Division, and obviously they're going to be favorites. They're going to be teams who you know can play well. Maybe they put together a string, but the top place finisher, nice hook on the Mushi. Actually, pretty close. Ferrari's there with a haste rune. Mushi, buddy. Yeah, not going to happen. Not when they have a gym. As Banana had added that to his inventory, so as good as the warding has been, not even a need to do so anymore. Just keep Banana sat behind the big, gigantic, can't even call it a glass cannon. Ferrari's not a glass cannon. He's just a big, honking, armored cannon at this point that you can't hit because it dodges you. But sticking behind there, and Nyx is never going to be able to get within distance without ending up getting blown up.
Yeah, and this is exactly where DK does not want to be 30 minutes in. An underfarm Weaver, a Nyx Sesame who can't find any kills, 2-6 on Mushi right now, a Chen who hasn't pushed down any T2 towers and unable to secure Roshan. It's just everything has not gone well for them in like the first 20 minutes of the game, and now they're paying for it.
And right now, I mean, you continue to look around. Looks like Burning has a couple, he's got 2,100 gold in his bank, but just so far behind. I mean, behind even his own Timbersaw. Chen, the Chen that has been largely ineffective, that really has not contributed that much whatsoever, is right on par with him in level. He just is not the Burning we're used to seeing. We're used to seeing the Burning who has a bad game and still has 600 GPM by 30 minutes in, or has a good start and has 700 GPM by 30 minutes in. That's the Burning we all know and love, but it seems like DK going through some growing pains right now, and really IG has just had their number. That's the other thing. I mean, DK has made some mistakes here and there, but for the most part, IG is just flat out outplaying them here in this series.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. They're also stuck in 6.78 woes of like relying a little bit too much on Weaver possibly, as well as Lifestealer in the previous game, and I think that era has already changed. And even though the patch came out today, you can definitely see that IG is way better at adapting, and DK, if they don't adapt, they're going to lose.
DK trying to do what they can, flexing their muscles into the Radiant side jungle. IG able to scout this out pretty safely, though, using Rocket Flare. And right now, they just, as you said, man, I mean, there really is no reason to force the issue. They just have Hal basically playing catch-up. He's already got a Butterfly up, or excuse me, a Eagle Song and a Yasha. Roche has Respawn, by the way. Neither team has checked that I've seen. And this is again, one of the dynamics we're going to have to get used to seeing in Pro Dota is just how do you time your Roche reconnaissance? Roche reconnaissance. I like that. Here we go.
That's what Chen creeps before.
Yeah, good call. Here we go. Hal's going to engage. Oh, great hook. The Eclipse caught them both. Timber Chain is going to allow him to clean up the Crystal Maiden. But in the end, he'll end up dead as well. Much higher priority kill. And Hal got both of them. And we'll see if they're going to run right to the Roche pit. Oh,
my goodness.
It was so good. And
YYF has been really good with his hook shot this game. He might have like missed a cog or two, but his hook shots, that was just so timely coming in as the Eclipse was going off.
I think I can amend that to YYF is just so good, period. YYF has been a beast the last 48 hours, man. Yesterday, he just tore. Oh, yeah.
Just ridiculous.
And now on this Clockwork, after yesterday we kind of joked. I mean, we had some bad luck Clockworks who were just not really effective. And YYF says, no, it's fine. It's not the hero. The hero's fine. It's just, I got this under control. Don't worry.
Yep. Now Roshan is next to fall. DK really had to be scratching their heads, trying to come up with a game plan to pull them back from this sort of deficit. And the Ancient stack being stolen too. Ouch.
Yeah, at this point, the rich get richer. And Ferrari is just huge. He's gigantic. There's nothing you can say. He's at 19,000 net worth. He is nearly doubling the next highest on the enemy team, regardless of who it is. And yeah, this is, what do you even do? Like, this is what I was talking about earlier, and you hate to just pin it on one or two things, but when you have a mid Shadow Fiend, the hero has no escapability. He is extremely squishy and easy to kill, you have to put pressure on that hero. You have to make ganks happen. That's why, of course, we saw Banana spend so much time there for IG to make sure that would be more difficult to do. But so much emphasis was given to this bottom lane, and Luna's notoriously good at playing catch-up and farm, just because of the way glaives work, her ability to flash farm, how hard she is to track down. She can play a little risky because her builds usually mean she's going to build survivable in terms of movement speed, in terms of BKB, and so on and so forth. So they really, I feel like DK just really they had the firepower, they just pointed their guns at the wrong target.
I think it also has to do with them giving first blood or early deaths in the bottom lanes. Like Ice died unnecessarily right here. Burning died right here too, unnecessarily. There weren't any sentries. Abaddon was right there too. I still don't know what happened, but regardless, it shouldn't have happened. And they really can't have that early deaths on those heroes, the big impact heroes. You want your Weaver to be a big force 20 minutes in, 30 minutes in, and he is just not. And same with Ice last game, even though Ice I think is playing pretty well this game. Just still not enough to carry Burning as a slight burden this game. 1-6-4 on the Weaver. His GPM is very lackluster. He's behind his own Timbersaw in net worth and definitely eclipsed by Luna and Shadow Fiend.
YYF has picked up a Scepter, has his Force Staff. He's going to have hooks on the ready anytime he wants. And Burning just trying desperately to be relevant again. He's got a Demon Edge up. And, at this point, noticing the butterflies coming on both heroes, knows he has to get an MKB, but still quite a ways away.
Here goes the Death Push with the HOD complete on Ferrari, with the Butterfly complete on Luna and the Aegis. It is go time.
MKB done on Weaver. Finally, a little bit of relevance. They're going to move on up.
He has no buyback, though, so this is all in for DK.
Howl just tanking through the damage. Will move away from the Chakram. The Glaives doing their job. And, the Glaives actually aren't bouncing off the tower.
Oh, yeah. The Rex are invulnerable. Okay. So, I think afterwards it should. I don't know. There was some weird interaction with the Plague Wards last game. The Urn is really important right here. They're able to keep Howl up after he just constantly sieges the Rex. It's really important to keep your carry, especially your Aegis Bear at full HP during this sort of slow push.
There we go. Bouncing properly now. Burning a lot of damage. Forced the time lapse already. Cogs go down. He's just going to have his Aegis pop for free. Ferrari sitting near the back. They're doing a decent job of holding this off. Now with him back up. Nice sight device shown off by Chen. They're going to follow it through. There's the Lich Ult. It'll bounce. BKB's up. Gets off the Eclipse. Does end up dropping, but Burning drops as well. And the Lich Ult still going. Got the job done. That's Burning and Abaddon both down. And
the gem. Somebody pick it up.
Oh, nice hook from YYF. Fresh off cooldown. Looks like Ice. Unable to do much else. Mushi force staffs himself back to the high ground. Still a gem and Banana's inventory. This is going to be a Rax, no doubt about it, even without Luna there to help clean it up.
Who would have thought that Shannon would have a sight right then? Yeah. I saw him with his ultimate orb, but I did not expect him to build it.
Actually, I spotted it when he finished it. Ferrari will be force-staffed down. Now Ice in some trouble. Ferrari, by the way, has yet to cast his ult a single time this game. And the freezing field enough to run off the remainder of DK. And there's going to be a hook to clean up Mushi. MMY's back up, Burning back up in 15 seconds. They really want this Rax, as they should. And down it goes. But yeah, the Chen been banking for that scythe for a while and managed to get some good out of it, taking Luna out of the fight. If they don't take Luna out there, the chances are that's 2 Raxes. They're going to call it.
Yep. GG.
GG.
I think it was GG a while ago, but with the Rax down, they have just no chance. No buyback on Weaver. They went all in with the MKB. Not that buyback would have made a difference. I definitely think it was the right choice to get it, but they just fell a little bit too far behind early. The gold grab should not have been in IG's favor at like the 20-minute mark with this lineup with a Shadow Fiend and a Luna. That's a pretty greedy lineup. Abaddon also, I don't think we'll see him picked up much in the future. Very well played by IG. I don't think that many people expected this 2-0 from them, but they're looking in really top form and just much more disciplined and clean and crisp play.
Yeah, Invictus, after bringing in the new talent, everyone wondered exactly how they would gel. And I think just being able to play as much as they have lately with Ace and now the D2L really beginning to look good. And DK showing some, the showing some signs of weakness. The King bleeds too, apparently. As DK drops this series 0-2 and finds themselves sitting at 1-1 in the standings. Invictus Gaming, it improves their record to 2-1. 26 minutes, 12 seconds. The final kill score, 38 minutes, 10 seconds. Or 20. Let's try that again. 26-12, the final kill score, 38 minutes, 10 seconds. The official game time as DK ends up being shocked by IG 2-0. I'm your host, Aaron AC Chambers, joined by Ben Merlini-Will. We're going to have our second series next. Keep in mind, we do have 3 series ahead. Well, 2 series ahead, as our first one is now behind us. This is our second play week of the Eastern Division, so make sure you stay logged. Make sure you hit follow here on twitch.tv/D2L. You can also find myself and Merlini on Twitter as well. I'm at EC, at AYESEE. Merlini, you can find it at Merlini Dota. And you can also find him on various other networks. If you've enjoyed his insight and analysis, make sure you check him out on YouTube. The guy does a lot of really great educational videos for newer players. Anyway, guys, our second series of the night coming up next in just a few minutes. Gotta say it's probably somewhere between an hour and 30 minutes away from now because we have to stick to our schedule. 40 minutes, according to my producer, Connor. Thank you so much, my brother. But, yeah, we'll be back in about 40 minutes, guys. Stay locked. Go play a game of Dota, but make sure you don't turn off the stream. Enjoy some of our stream playlist in the meantime. See you soon.